Hello and welcome to Global South Perspective with me, Maureen in Kandu. Here on Global South Perspective, we discuss interesting developments in countries of the Global South. And these are countries that are in Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, Latin America, and the Middle East. On today's program, we'll be looking at politics in Zambia, and we're featuring Zambia's prominent female politician. Her name is Chishala Kateka. She is the leader in Zambia. They actually call every leader of an opposition party or political party, they refer to them as president rather than leader. So Ms. Chishala Kateka is the president of the New Heritage Party. And we're going to be looking at her preparedness to run as a presidential candidate in the forthcoming elections in Zambia in August 2026. Ms. Kateka, welcome to Global South Perspective.
Now, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So we go straight into it. We go straight into this. You are the most prominent female presidential candidate for elections that are coming up next year, just less than a year to go. How do you feel about it? How prepared are you for it?
2026 is exciting because we've had more time to do what we need to do to find candidates, to sell our more of ourselves. We continue to do that. Are we ready? No, we are not ready, but we are continuing to prepare ourselves in readiness for 2026.
Okay, so that is very interesting. So what does readiness mean? Because you don't have much time, and indications there from what you have said are that you've got structures in place. What is not making you not ready?
Readiness means that, it's like you are preparing for an exam. You never feel totally ready. You are continually preparing yourself until the very last possible moment. And this is basically the same. You can always do that extra bit that needs to be done. What you need to know is that the political space in Zambia has really shrunk. It's really, 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 really shrunk. We thought that the last election was bad. This is going to be worse. In the 4 years since 2021, we have not had a single rally. The police, whenever you apply to hold a rally, the police stop you and they say, "Oh, for security reasons." There are only two parties that have had political rallies. It's the ruling party and another opposition party. But the rest of us now, how on earth do you cover the country on a day-to-day basis? Because even when I go to meet just my members, if they are above a certain number, then I have to get a police permit, and they will not say yes. So it has been
in that case, then how do you see yourself running in an election that is due in a few months' time? What are you going to do differently?
What we are doing is we try to use social media, and we try to use other forms of media, TV, radio stations, but you still need that personal touch, because people will always say, "We want to see her. We want to see her." So it is a challenge. So what will work for us is the fact that the current government has really done itself a disservice, and people are looking at alternatives. Fortunately, we are not starting from ground zero. We are fairly well known and fairly well respected, because we try to do our politics in a different way. We don't go out there, to just shout and be heard. We try by all means to bring solutions. And we prefer solutions to the country. So we are in a way thought leaders.
Now, of course, in Zambia, there have been alliances. Your party, the New Heritage Party, was or probably still is part of the United Kwacha Alliance, UKA. Would
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
confirm what the status is with UKA?
Okay. So Uka, as you know, we started. There were a large number of us, and then we did split up with what is now called the Tonse Alliance because we didn't agree with regard to the way forward. So when we started, we had four goals. Number one, bring ourselves together. Number two, come up with a plan to make a difference in Zambia. Okay, so the issues that would entail to address the aspirations of the Zambian people. So a plan to do that. And then number three, choose from amongst us a leader that would be able to run with this plan. And then four, of course, win the election. The bone of contention was that others wanted number two swapped with number three, whereas some of us, the ones who were left in Oka, the five that were left in Uka, felt that we really needed to address the plight of the Zambians first and then choose a leader. Because if you choose a leader first, then everything begins to revolve around that leader. And that was the bone of contention. So they went because they felt that that's the way it ought to be. So there are basically three of us that are left, and we are working with
So,
other
which three of you are there? Which three of you are there? Because, of course, this looks like big egos around who should lead UKA. Which ones of you are there are left now with the UKA?
Okay, there's Sakuba Scott State Council, that's ULP, Jackson Silavwe, Golden Party of Zambia, and myself.
Okay, now we understand there's another faction of UKA where there's Miss Savoy Imboila.
We kicked her out. We expelled her. Some people thrive in confusion and they choose to do that. So when we expelled her as Oka, she says, "Oh, I'm also expelling you," you know, and she was the media director, and then she expels the chairman. Who does that?
Okay, so that's
So
a very interesting
yeah.
turn of events. So you then are going to contest these elections as what? As the new Heritage Party leader or as part of the UKA alliance?
So let me explain. Um, as opposition political parties, there are a number of opposition political parties who are in the process of coming together, made up of the of political parties
That is the Tonse
and
alliance, right?
including the Tonsia. We've been having meetings. I'm sure you've seen that. Yeah. So that includes as well as non-political players. So it's to be a movement around which we shall unite, and we will choose someone from amongst us.
Who do you think, as the new Heritage Party president, optimistic about winning the elections next year, who do you think should lead this opposition grouping or alliance or movement, whatever formation it is?
I think it would be premature for me to discuss that because it would it would bring a whole lot of confusion in the discussions at the stage where we are at. We are having a meeting very, in fact, at the end of this month, collectively to discuss just that. And I don't think that it would be the right thing for me to say this person. It would be very, very inopportune of me to do that.
Okay, now we hear quite a lot on the ground where people are saying we want a different crop of leaders, and there's some strong
That's
voices
right.
around saying we want women leaders. Would you
Yeah.
accept to be that leader that goes to the elections?
Look, the whole reason I entered the political fray is because I seriously want to make a difference. Um, I I was on a radio program earlier this morning, and this gentleman called in to say, just join UPND. If I joined something like that, I wouldn't have the level of influence I'm looking for to do what I believe we need to do for this nation. So it's not a matter of joining a winning team, it's a matter of whatever. So I joined because and offered myself because I believe that I can make a difference. So yes, if I was asked to be the flag bearer, I would humbly accept. And if not, then I will go with whoever we choose.
Now, just before we talk about what you would do differently if you were the flag bearer and you indeed formed government, if you were offered the running mate position with the UPND, would you take it?
No,
Why not?
no. We are on a very different trajectory to the UPND. Um, Ideologically, we are very different. What they have set themselves out to do, it's like jumping into the Titanic and then expecting me to have an effect in there. I don't think I would.
So you say they're a sinking ship then?
Apart from that, their ideological stance and myself, we are at variance. So we don't see, we're not going in the same trajectory. So, and they are going to continue on this trajectory. It will be very difficult for me to go in there and begin to be heard.
So if you were to be the flag bearer and you formed government next year, August 2026, what are the top three things that you would do differently as president of Zambia?
Okay, so the very first thing that needs to be done in this nation is to divide to unite the nation. We are so polarized, we are so divided, it's unbelievable. We've never been this divided along party lines, along tribal lines. So it's very, very important that we unite the nation because now uniting the nation entails not uniting around a starring president, if you see what I mean. We have a situation where the you have a president and their followers, and that is what leads us to this sectarian situation. What we need to do is to put together a group of people, which is why we are coming together as a coalition of political parties, so that we have a president that is accountable and is able to make decisions that are for the well-being of the whole country, the entire country. The other thing, the next most important thing that needs to be done is to put the right people in the right place. Okay, we put people in place based on, did they support me when I was getting into government? Did they? We are in such a mess as a country
Isn't
that we really
that
need.
what politics is all about? Who supported me? Who was there for me?
But if we continue along this model of politics that we are doing, we've really harmed the nation. We are not achieving much. But if we come together as a number of political parties, then you are not picking from your party, just from your party, even if people are not competent. Do you see what I mean? You have a wider range of people to pick from who would be able to do the right job. We would need to change some policies. That's the third thing. Some policies that work contrary to Zambia. Okay, there are some policies that we have that we inherited from the colonial days, especially in mining, that disadvantage this nation. You've seen the changes that are being made in Namibia, where she's able to say, you know what, this we've got to prioritize the Namibians, and that's what we would do. We have a whole list of things that we would do.
You've talked about policy there, and there's a famous quote by former US President Bill Clinton, which said, "It's the economy, stupid."
Stupid. Yeah.
Obviously.
Our manufacturing base is not growing. Our SMEs are not performing well. We're not exporting as much as we used
So
to. We're
just
not.
if I can come in there, you've given some two good examples about manufacturing and small and medium enterprises. What would you do differently?
The thing is this: we do earn foreign exchange in the mining sector. When we've got a lot of resources, mineral resources, and we export this. When we export our mineral resources, they get paid out there. Sell, let's say copper, they sell on the London Metal Exchange, and they keep the money there. The foreign exchange doesn't come back. Therefore, as far as we are concerned, we don't have foreign exchange, and yet you just produced copper, but you didn't get the dollars for it. One of the things that we would do is change the policy so that those mining houses are compelled to bring that money back and then only externalize that money when they are paying dividends or they are buying something, because that really impacts our economy. Okay. And I've been, talking about this for some time.
And if they
They
choose to
did
just go and invest elsewhere, how do you incentivize
exactly.
them to do that?
The only time a company can externalize dividends is when certain parameters are met. In Zambia, we are allowing these companies to externalize money from the top line and rather than from the bottom line. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. That's not the way you do business. They bring in the money and they get a return, but you don't take everything out as a return. There's an amount that you can take out. Okay. So we need to take charge of our mining sector and work better deals for ourselves so that Zambia can benefit.
Great. Now, the final question, and this is something that is really upmost on the minds of many people in Zambia and possibly in the SADC region, is the Edgar Chagwa Lungu burial saga. The former president of Zambia passed away on the 5th of June in South Africa,
Yeah.
and he's still not buried. What is your take on how things are going? What do you think should happen?
It's very, 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 very unfortunate and reflects badly on us as a nation. And it also speaks to the rivalries that I was talking about in politics and which are not helping us whatsoever. What we need to understand is that the Lungu family are prepared to bring the body to Zambia. They haven't said no. They are prepared to go through the burial, the state funeral, and to bring to bury here. However, what they are totally against is the president attending because of the relationship that they had with the late president. Now, when you are an adult and this 12-year-old comes to you, that 12-year-old is young and obviously you can beat them up and everybody can see that you are stronger than them. You don't actually have to beat them up to show that you are the stronger person. So here, the government is the stronger party, if you like, and really to take the widow to court is not sitting very well with most Zambians. And since everybody knows that the sticking point is the president not being in attendance, why would the president not um, maybe ask his vice president to officiate at that funeral rather than insisting on being there?
Why do you think he's insisting on being there?
Because they put it on the program. They keep saying, can you show us? But they put it on. Do you remember that the two parties met and they agreed, and the body was supposed to come on a Wednesday? And then suddenly the family changed their mind. Why? Because on Tuesday, the government issued a program that when ECL's body came, it would be met by the president. And if you look further down that list, that program, it says then they'll take the body away for about 20 minutes for a private service. And the family said, we did not agree to all of this. What? And then the further down, which is the next day, when the public viewing of the body was to start, the first person to view was the president. That is the sticking point.
So,
The family were saying,
as just to come in there as leader of the opposition, have you taken it upon you to phone the president and suggest to him, as you have here, that perhaps he should
I
stay?
have. Yes. We, as New Heritage Party, and I was saying this on the program because people keep asking and asking. I say, look, guys, we advised the president, we also advised the Lungu family. We've given our views. The thing is, it's not about taking sides and saying, okay, I support the president or I support the Lungu family. It's staying outside and looking at this situation and saying, what is the right thing to do? That's how we get out of this. Why should Zambia be stuck in this situation? It's unnecessary.
You've given your views, but have you spoken to the president directly?
He never responds to anything, dear. For 4 years, I've never met him. 4 years, I've never met this man. We've written to him, they don't even acknowledge our letters. So we advise through the press.
Ms. Kateka, we want to thank you very much for your time. Very interesting points you've raised there. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
There it is. I've been speaking to Ms. Chishala Kateka. She is the president of the New Heritage Party, which is one of the opposition parties in Zambia. And Ms. Kateka is expecting to run as a presidential candidate, or perhaps as part of an alliance that is hoping, as we've heard in that interview, to be formed to contest the elections that will take place on the 12th of August 2026. Thank you very much for joining us on Global South Perspective. I'm Maureen. Join us again for another topic next time.